Hello everybody and welcome. I hope you're well. Well, today we're going to talk about breast cancer. We're going to talk about this disease that affects so many women around the world. It does affect men also, but mainly women. This cancer is one of the 3 most common cancers around the world. And why is it the breast cancer mostly affects women but not men? When we talk today about the emotions behind somebody with breast cancer, you will understand, because we as humans, we are very archaic. Although we don't like to say that because we are in 2021. So how the heck I'm gonna be very archaic in a very archaic carnival way when we are in 2021? But we still do. And although we try to run away from that, we still do. And that is what makes the difference in men not having breast cancer as much as women do. When we talk about breast cancer emotionally, we're talking about a conflict of protection. The woman that has breast cancer had a conflict with that she felt she couldn't protect, but also of having somebody under your wing. But just think about this picture. When somebody breastfeeds, and that is a good exercise you can do, how would you grab the baby if you breastfeed? Because that will also show you which one of the breasts you may have a conflict with. But let's pretend you grab the baby like this. So you put the head right here, right under your wing. And think about it. The first feed that the baby has, it's breast milk. Although you may not breastfeed, but that is what archaically we believe we should do. Not that you won't do it, but even if you give that baby a bottle, that bottle simulates the breast of a woman. So archaically, that baby feels, this is my first nest out of the actual first nest, which was the uterus. And I have a couple of videos about the uterus here. So the breast is that nest, that first contact with the mother that I have right after delivery. Now, women with breast cancer or with cyst or any conflicts in the breast are women that I like to call them, they love to breastfeed everybody. They're very maternal. They're, even if they don't have kids, those are women that care for everybody. They like to protect everybody. And they like to put everybody under their wings. And not funny enough, I choose a really good blouse for this subject today, unconsciously. So those women love to put everybody under their wing. They like to protect from their children, even if they don't have it. They will find children. For them, they will be the mother of those nieces, nephews. They will be the mother for the sisters or brothers. They even will maternal their own parents. Those women tend to even do that. They try to be that mother figure for those parents, believe it or not. They do that also with their partners. Women with breast cancer normally are those kind of women. They're very maternal women, even if they don't have kids. Now, like I always say, nothing is hereditary. I never know how to say that word properly, but you know what I mean. Generations by generations and genes to genes. Nothing is like that. What it does is that we have the same beliefs as my mother, as my grandma, and all those generations with breast cancer are women that are all maternal. They love to protect everybody. And when they feel that they are not doing that, that's when breast cancer comes. An example for this would be a woman that struggles to, when a child or a grown man, but one of their children goes out of the house. So maybe they go to university. This is the first time that child goes out of the house, and they feel they cannot protect them now, and they have a big conflict with this. Now, I just had a case yesterday or 2 days ago where I had a lady where she didn't have breast cancer, but she had all the symptoms emotionally to have it. One of them was that she was really afraid to send her son to nursery because she felt, her words, not mine, that she couldn't protect him there. And what will happen if she couldn't protect him there? And she also had all the other symptoms. She liked to put everybody under her wing. She liked to care for everybody, protect everybody, and all of that. But she didn't have breast cancer. But funny enough, she had this fear of having it, although it was not running in her family, but she had her fear. Her fear is an unconscious fear because she had all the symptoms to have it. I mean, she had everything to have it, but she didn't need it really to have it. That makes sense? So I always say, if you have the symptom, if you have breast cancer or any conflict on your breast, that is a story behind you. Now, you can have the story like she did. She had the story even in her family for things that happened in her family, but she didn't have the symptom. So that is possible, and I have a whole video about this. Now, another conflict will be a woman that maybe felt that she couldn't protect her home, she couldn't protect her marriage, and she felt now that her marriage has been turned apart. This happens maybe when her husband left or her husband died, and now she feels that she can't protect the same way the husband was doing it. Maybe it's a husband that actually cheated and left, and now breast cancer comes. Now, also, it's very common to see that maybe the mother has breast cancer, and that child, grown woman maybe, that it's very maternal, even towards her mother. She feels she can't protect her mother. I saw this in the Kelly Clarkson show not long ago. It was the case of a mother. She had breast cancer, and shortly after, the daughter also developed breast cancer. Because it's that fear internally, I cannot be with my mother, I can't protect my mother, I should be there for my mother, or is that deep, big fear, I'm gonna lose my mother. And that's where breast cancer appears to her. So that's very common also for those women that even breastfeed their own parent. Or maybe it's a parent that it's very sick, and they feel, I can't protect her, I can't protect her. Maybe it's the father, I can't protect my father, I want to be with my father, or I couldn't protect my father, I couldn't have him under my wing to protect him, to care for him before he died, for example. That's another one. And the other one is those big situations of, I almost lost a child. And the child can be a real child, or it could be a symbolic child. That could be a nephew that you feel like is your child. You care for it, like if it was your child. And that deep, big fear of losing them. Now, last week I had a case of a lady that she had 3 tumors in her breast. Now, coincidentally, I don't believe in coincidences, she had 3 children. And she also, coincidentally, she had the same name as her grandmother. And also everybody told her that she looked like that grandmother. A grandmother she never met, but when she was talking about her, I actually thought for a minute that she actually met her. But she never met her because that grandmother died right after the delivery of the last child of her. So her mother was 15 when her own mother passed away. So her mother, the mother of this consultant that I had, had to be the one to care for the older siblings. She was the one that took charge. She was the one that put all her siblings under her wing. Now, this consultant that I had, she said to me, I fear for my children. I feel that something will happen to me and I won't be able to protect them. She wasn't afraid of death. She was not completely afraid of death whatsoever. She said, I don't even fear to die. My fear is that if something happens to me, that could be death, I won't be able to protect my 3 children. Funny enough, for the 3rd time now, she had once again tumors in her breast. Why is this? Because she already was very maternal. She had always been maternal. She materns also her brother. She's also very maternal with her own mother. Remember, she has the same name as the grandmother, the mother of her mother. So unconsciously, she does that. She protects her mother in the fear that something may happen to her daughter, just like it happened to her. And this is something we do unconsciously. So her fear was not even to die. Her fear was something, if something happens to me, what will happen to my children? Although those children had a father, had grandparents, had everything. But she had this deep fear. A deep fear that was struggling, that she would struggle to even sleep at night because she also was always thinking of this. Also, she will wake up with this thing in her head all the time. And if anything happened to her children, she was always worried because she had this deep maternal instinct on her and conflict on her about protecting her children. So this is about what I could say about breast cancer and all tumors and cysts and dysplasias also in the breast. All that I just had to say applies to all of them. But all have a bit of different things. So in the next videos, I probably will be talking about each of them. But basically, somebody with breast cancer has this big conflict of protection and having things under the wing. Now, just to finalize that, I have a whole video about tell me how you're born and I will tell you who you are, because that also explains about this lady that I was just telling you about, because this lady, her grandmother passed after childbirth. And this lady had this conflict of the tumors every time one of her children will turn 1. That's when her tumors will appear. Because unconsciously that reminds her is you may die just like your grandma did and left the other ones unattended. And this is also the reason why all of the 3 children born with C-section. Because C-section says unconsciously, please, I need professionals around me because I don't want to happen what happened to my grandmother. Because grandmother had complications on childbirth and that's why she died soon after. I hope this video explains it all. And if you have any questions, please leave them down below. And please subscribe so you know every time I'm posting a new video. You take care and until next video. Bye-bye.